So we're back again with Mahlape Nyakane, founder and CEO of The Skills Mine. Mahlape, so we're now getting into part two, and I love the color that you were giving us around The Skills Mine itself and what you guys do. So you were talking about how you got into entrepreneurship, and you said in part one that, you had been at Gibbs, you were doing your MBA, you were doing the entrepreneurship module. What was always interesting was the shift from marketing to recruitment, right? So you were a scientist, you studied zoology, you're a marketer, then now you're shifting into recruitment. Why did you choose recruitment specifically?
Recruiters will tell you, you don't choose recruitment chooses you.
Okay.
It's one of the things that we talk about, right?
Yeah.
At that stage, I had two of my friends were really talking about also recruitment and how that grows in. And I had absolutely, Linda, no clue what recruitment is. But one thing I've always known about myself is I'm a connector. Mm-hmm. I'm able to think, or Linda is this person, and I spoke to whoever, and I think there's a synergy there. So, some people call us matchmakers as well. And I've always been able to do that. And also having been in corporate many years, and led teams and interviewed people, had always an understanding of what actually stands out in terms of talent. I think one of the things my team will tell you, I have an ability to spot talent. Say this person has got the potential to do things. And so when we had the opportunity of one of the leading global organizations saying, look, they're looking for this SAP talent, and I'd been in a learnership that had all of this talent that was looking for opportunities, I said, let me get into it and see. So, at that stage, I had no idea. I didn't know that a CV must look a certain way. Because here I was having led teams and people bring me CVs, and that's what it is. So I didn't know what a CV looked like. I didn't know that I have to present them. I didn't know what was going to be able to stand out.
Okay.
But I said, I'm going to learn what is there. So it's just started off with one person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's how I got into it.
Okay. How did you learn? Because you speak a lot about observing, right? And this, I think, applies in life, but also entrepreneurship. The barriers to entry, whether it's, financial skills or functional. So it sounds like you spent a lot of time investigating and learning. So how did you learn? Because sometimes that's the step we miss. Sometimes we'll say, okay, if Mahlape can do it, I can. Not recognizing that you've put skin in the game, or you've been in the weeds, trying to make sure that you are functional from a skills point of view.
I think the first step, Linda, and I don't even think I know it, is to say I don't know. And come in, be vulnerable enough to say, in an organization that is big, that is global, that has got, recruitment is very saturated. To say to somebody, I really don't know this, but I'm willing to learn. Please, can you show me, just with one example, how this works?
Okay.
I've got the talent. I know somebody who would be there. I have developed, I've got a company that's registered. Please show me. And be able to say, I'm going to start with one. I'm going to give you one free resource when you're starting one. And show me how it is so I can learn from that and take yourself step by step. Because at that stage, I didn't know what an invoice looks like. I'd never done an invoice before. I didn't know what the process is in an organization and an industry that I'd never worked in. And so I used to send that CV in its raw format, right? Or put it in a template that just didn't make sense. And using every single example as a checkbook or tick box exercise to say, okay, so this is the step, that is the step, this is what I wanted to do. But also, I always say opportunity comes when you're prepared as well. So making sure that there's certain things that you must do research on. You must. You know, back then, 15 years ago, we didn't have the pleasure of AI.
Hey, ChatGPT.
ChatGPT says, help me set up right now, whatever, all of
Yeah.
the information there.
Yeah.
So then you would have to use your Google to find out what happens there. And also speak to people. You know, just when I said sometimes you walk into a room and there's nothing wrong with asking somebody, please show me this. And we had an amazing lady. I had an amazing lady who had a recruitment agency, and she said, okay, let me show you with this. And I absorbed. I didn't go there to waste her time. I knew that I had an hour, and in that hour, I came ready to ask the question. So what happens in it? What is normally the step process with an interview? How do you invoice? What is the lead time?
Nice.
What is all of that? And it just took one company. And with that one company, I applied myself. And I said, with this one company, I'm going to build excellence. I'm going to come in there and be the best version of me. And people are willing to groom you, and people are willing to just lift up their hand and say, okay, here. And people then refer you as well. And so I think that really helped. Ask. As recruiters, we develop thick skins. We also like salespeople. I always say the worst they can say is no. We can reach out and headhunt candidates and they can ignore us for many days. You can reach out to a client and say, hey, I've got a strong database of this, and they can ignore you. So have that thick skin to say, if I ask somebody and they say no, it's nothing personal. We are all on our own journeys, but ask and be vulnerable enough to say, I don't know, but I'm wanting to learn. And I feel there's an excitement of learning. It's the excitement of going somewhere and you don't know. But I always say, and that's why I say I'm audacious. I say, I don't know it, but I'm going to be one of those companies there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start with this one person, but I'm going to fill the head of marketing here, and I'm going to fill the head of whatever there.
Wow, nice. So you've got quite an impressive client list, right? And I take it even landing that first client was probably not easy. What has been your journey in terms of being able to build the brand? You know, you've spoken to us just now around building your functionality as a recruiter. Also the generosity of that one person who was able to give you the hour of their time to take you through the specifics of the industry, and also what you've had to do to get going. So what has it been like growing your client base? And also, as an entrepreneur, what have been your biggest lessons, right? Because it's not easy. It's not always glamorous. It can be quite lonely. And then also, what have been some of the rewards?
Yeah. So, as marketers, also we talk about standing out from the clutter.
Differentiation.
Thank you, Linda. A true marketer. Differentiation, right?
Yeah.
In an environment where everybody is doing the same thing. Recruitment is highly, highly saturated.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's always about how do I do things just slightly differently, so slightly better from what's happening there. So for how I've managed to grow my client base is, for me, quality and excellence is non-negotiable. I drive my team crazy. They will start that CV again. It is non-negotiable. I put my clients and my candidates first. And I learned that at the beginning of the recruitment function. In the age where recruiters ghost people and they don't regret them and they don't give feedback, for me, it was important, because that young IT person that I find today, in a year's time, is going to be a solid Python developer that I can put into a big organization. Finding that one client and saying, please I have capacity to do only 2 roles. And making sure that I communicate with them, I give them feedback, I work as fast as I can, I truly take time to understand what it is that they're looking for. I spoke earlier about how do we find the right technical fit and also culture fit. So taking my time to do that allows a client to have confidence in you. And just doing it once well allows them to say, hey, do you do, I remember starting and doing a lot of digital marketing roles with one of my clients, and they were like, hey, do you do IT? And as Richard Branson says, if you ask whether you can do something, say yes and figure it out how to do it later.
Yeah.
And I will say yes, because there's certain transferable skills that you learn along the way that says, okay, if I'm using the same practice to find a marketer that I can use to find an IT. And boy, is it also different in how the types of people are there. So just doing it once and doing having excellence in how you deliver that service meant that one person left that organization and went to another organization and said, hey, I've been working with an agency that really does well. And they actually do tech, that one industry that I said I couldn't do. And because I use the same principles and I said, I'm going to learn, I investigate. I don't know what a Python developer is. I didn't know that besides Python being a snake as a zoologist, that it could also be a coding language as well.
Yeah.
And I learned. And that set me up and saying, I'm going to differentiate myself. Nobody actually understands this. So I'm going to come in and say to you, hey, I know you've got 1,000 agencies doing it, but how many agencies are doing tech? And I learned to understand the tech stack and understand all of that. And that grew me. And when lockdown hit and what we were looking for, people who could work at home, who were software developers, who could do digital marketing, it put me in such an opportune way, a spot to actually stand out again.
Oh, okay.
So I have a lot of organizations saying, who are recruiters saying, but this tech part we don't understand. So that's really what's made me stand out and just bringing excellence in it. As a small agency, as a black female agency, people assume, what do these girls know about tech? And for me to say, actually, I know a lot and stand out and be able to build teams with big clients because I understand that tech stack.
And then some of your other challenges as an entrepreneur and rewards?
Entrepreneurship, it's not easy. Biggest, in terms of finding clients, you mean, Linda, or just in general?
In general.
Sure. There are so many.
Yeah.
There are so many challenges. I think the biggest one is, it used to be access to market a lot because it's also such a saturated environment.
Yeah, that does come up a lot.
Yeah. So how do I go there and have exposure in meeting them? But it's no longer for me. For me, the audaciousness says, I just need to know who I'm trying to target, and I will get to that person and that organization eventually.
Yeah.
But other factors that I have is leadership and growing a team. As a leader, is you put everybody else first. You have to make sure that your team has salary. Payroll. Your team is happy. I work with young people where, back in the day, for me, there was no depression. You couldn't say there's depression, all of those things, right? Where young people are vocal about mental health issues. And so they forced me to see how I lead. And that is such an important growth thing that I had to do to say, how do I make this environment one where I can get people to come in? And above everything else, Linda, is money, cash flow. When you go through a period where you don't know if this business is going to survive in the next 2 months, if you're going to be able to pay salaries, if you're going to service even your client at this point. That has been a challenge, and I had that for the first time, about 2 years ago, and it was a wake up because it was smooth before. The 8 years was smooth, and it was good, and it was, I didn't have to think, so we had a bad month and it's fine. Where then 2 years ago I had it where it was difference between me and poverty is one bad month, one bad placement. And so those are the challenges that are there. But also the challenge is also sometimes being, you always have to fight the bias. Here's this agency of young women. What do they know about this? And so you're constantly having to go in there and you work 10 times more than your counterparts who probably still don't even know what it is that you're doing. And so you're constantly having to prove yourself, constantly having to come up, whether you like it or not, at 100%. So those are some of the challenges that are there. Entrepreneurship, yes, I try to switch off, but you can't. On a weekend, you are still the one who has to check that, the business is there, it's still running. I am being conscious about doing it more and more, but you actually kind of you don't switch off. If it's your business, it's your baby, nobody's going to love it like you do. Nobody's going to give it the attention that you do. So every day you're on. You're on. So those are the challenges that I have. As one young person asked me, ma'am, you say recruitment is hard, recruitment is rubbish, recruitment is this, and he asked me, so then why do you do it every day for 10 years?
The rewards, yeah.
And for me, the reward is when, okay, now I get emotional.
Oh, the passion is coming through. Okay. Let me take a sip of that water. Okay. Maybe let's come back to the reward.
Sorry, Linda.
Okay.
Some of us are perimenopausal.
It's cool. It's cool. We get it.
I think for me, the biggest thing is having somebody change
The transformation.
and get a job and provide.
Yeah. No, I mean, the points you touch on are quite deep points, especially with what's happening in our country right now. We are probably seeing the highest levels of not just youth unemployment, but unemployment in general, in terms of what's happening in the space, and it's not like 10 to 15 years ago where all it took for you to be able to switch jobs was that call from a recruiter, someone headhunting you or saying, hey, are you looking to switch? You'd be happily sitting at your current job and you'd get that call. And for a lot of us, that's how we moved jobs. But it's not the same anymore. The market, as you said, has a lot of people who are in that mode of looking, and it does become a bread and butter issue. You spoke about the ability for a person to provide, and you also touched earlier on about that mental challenge when you are in that waiting season, as you're waiting to get your next job. I mean, you told us quite a bit about what makes your company stands out, which is your savviness in being able to recruit in tech. That probably laid the foundation for you as a woman in tech, right? So just one thing before we move away from this topic of unemployment. So what would be your biggest piece of advice for job seekers right now, especially given your expertise and also the advent of AI? What would be your biggest piece of advice for job seekers right now?
Looking for a job is a full-time job in itself. And people take that for granted. But you must come ready The amount of times people phone me and say, Mahlape, I'm looking for a job. And I say, okay, send me your CV. And you're not ready. You don't have a CV. Your CV looks like it's 1981. It's still 24 pages. It's got spelling mistakes. It is not structured in a way. It doesn't have a key skills section. It's got your ID, your home address, your social security, everything that is there that is works on bias. Then why? Then I say to them, no wonder you're unemployed, and they take it personally. And I say, first of all, where are we supposed to find you as a recruiter? It's like being single and saying, I'm trying to find this rich husband, but you sit inside at home all alone. Where are you going to find this person? And it's the same as well in recruitment as well. So I say, come prepared. You're looking for a job. Even when you are in a job, you start working on that CV. We used to do the curriculum vitae with that font, black and white, that everybody had. And that was a CV. I remember having a briefcase, and I'd have 20 printed copies of my CV. That's not how it is anymore. Right? So we talk about AI. When people say, how do I do a CV? I say, what does ChatGPT do? And somebody says, please can you show me a type of CV that works? No, there's 1,000 on Google. But you can use the tools, the AI tools, to say, here's my experience, here's my CV, here's my key skills. It takes 5 minutes on ChatGPT. Right? So do you have a LinkedIn profile? What does it look like? There are people who are on LinkedIn with sporties on their head, and they are looking for corporate jobs. Are you saying where you're based? Are you saying you're in Johannesburg? Are you saying, these are my key skills? This is my technology stack? Are you spelling the company's names? Are you tagging it? All of those things are a full-time job. Are you constantly saying, okay, I'm a marketer? What types of roles are there? I always say, your classical marketers are becoming obsolete. You have to have something that is digital, that is there, that talks social media, that talks all of those things, where you're going to connect with your consumers better. So what is it that you're doing to upskill yourself? Now roles are coming in, and they're saying, we're looking for an AI marketer or an AI tech person. So how are you ensuring you just know? And it's nothing complex. It's saying, are you able not to spend 50 hours writing something? Are you able to use AI and prompt it correctly and make it work for you, so you can have these things faster as well? So finding a job, my advice is, be prepared. Every day spend at least an hour saying, what is it? Do your research. People ask me, so I must go find out what the other banks are for you. No, you find out. You are in financial markets. What's happening? What's the trends that are there? What are the transferable skills that I can go into? Where are the industries that are growing? Do that research, so that when you reach out to a hiring manager or recruiter, you come ready. When you come to me and you say you want anything, what am I going to do? But if you come to me and say, I want a role that is at this level, that is this, I can best guide you. So, yeah, be there, be professional. There, be on job boards. What is it? PNets, LinkedIn's, Indeeds. Make sure that you're on those job portals. Make sure that you're professionally there. Make sure that you have your information there, and your cell phone and your email address. Answer your phone in a professional way. Show up for interviews in a professional way. And don't take opportunities from people who actually need them. That role is not for you. Don't waste people's time.
That's you. By that you mean don't apply.
Don't
for jobs that you don't qualify for.
Don't say I'm coming for an interview and don't show up.
Okay.
But spend time doing that, saying what are the skills that they want to. People come in, they have skills like attention to detail. Come on, man. Those are not the skills that are going to make you stand out. If you're a marketer who's worked in financial services, put financial services experiences down. Put digital marketing, strategy. Those are the things that we want to have in, because as a recruiter, if I'm looking for a job, a client says, hey, I'm looking for a marketer with financial services experience with this. They're not saying, I'm just looking for attention to detail. Everybody can have that in the CV. So how do you make sure that your CV speaks to your skill set? Because we also talk not only in the age of AI, but we also talk about things like application tracking systems that say you're going to apply, and because there's 1,000 of you in an hour, we're using technology to help us filter.
This is ATS.
ATS, yeah.
Okay.
So make sure that your CV has got the keywords, the things that they are looking for, so that you stand up on top.
Yeah, so it seems that's coming through a lot these days in terms of looking for a job. Having your CV, as you say, in that ATS compliant format, so that the system or the AI can pick it up. And then also at the same time, there's room or there's success in networking beyond just being on the job boards and pushing your CV or applying on them. So I would imagine that it's not just the tech, but it's also us relying on our relationships as well. What's your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. There's people who burn those bridges as they leave. Or don't show up correctly in a work environment. Sometimes references come when you didn't even know that somebody was actually your reference as well. So use that. The higher you go, the higher you will know people who are decision makers. The example I gave you on the learnership, I say to the young people who join the learnership, I give them my learnership experience, and I say, this is a future CEO somewhere.
Yes.
Future client.
Yeah.
Future employee, future boss. So make sure that when you are there, you are showing up correctly. But ask. Again, it goes back to asking. I think a lot of us are just scared to ask. Ask. Hey, I saw this role. Because I can tell you right now, you have to think differently. There's 1,000 applications that are coming in a month. Have you reached out to that hiring manager and said, hey, I saw you have this role, I've applied, but do you know who this person is? That you're doing that research constantly and finding out what it is. Because you have to work a bit different, because everybody's doing the same thing.
Exactly. Differentiation again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then also do things also that are different. Network. Network. Go to, find out if you're a software developer, are there forums there? I'm part of Women in AI, Women in all of those things, so that you can be there with the decision makers in an environment where it's not behind the computer and you're already feeling overwhelmed because there's 1,000 responses that you have to do. But go in network, follow people that inspire you, follow people that do whatever. See where they're going, see how you can be close to them, that, do things differently as well. And also don't close yourself out, especially young people, don't close yourself only to the South African market. We do that so much. Unemployment here is a youth, in my view, over 60%.
Yeah.
So why are you defining yourself to South Africa, where you have countries that have got aging populations that are looking for young people? What research are you doing around that?
Yeah, no, some solid points. So you spoke just now about your part of Women in AI. You have a niche in the tech space as the skills mine. You're a solid woman in tech. You've just been nominated for an award as well. So tell us a bit more about your work in the tech space beyond just recruiting. I saw when we were doing research on you that you also hosted a Women in Tech forum last year. So maybe tell us a bit more, because you are a recruiter plus, it seems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always say, and I also just said it, that I always say to candidates, especially women, we don't know where to find you. So if somebody says we're looking for tech women, black tech women, do you have? Because we can't find them. Then we say, yes, we try and find them. Now, people aren't there on LinkedIn. You don't have a profile that's there. That's all. Where am I going to find you? And so I made it my mission to also say, I'm going to go create spaces where women in tech can come and be part of organizations that are already there, where women are together and they are in tech and they're sharing ideas and they're sharing how to upskill themselves. And so I'm part of two really phenomenal chambers. The Spanish Chamber of Commerce is one of them. And we then hosted with them a Women in Tech session. We are now second stage. So we did it in Johannesburg, 2024. 2025, last year we did a Joburg and Cape Town, and it's growing. And last year our theme was around women in AI. And we had phenomenal speakers that came in from AI in education and AI in corporates, in really big corporates. And that's created a network of opportunities that are mind-blowing. And we had young people come in, and for them it was mind-blowing to see what the opportunities are. And representation matters. So creating environments where people can see, oh, there is somebody like me, and there is somebody that I can also get into this field. And so that has been quite big. And over the years also, I've started to build a solid database with referrals. Say, Linda, you're a digital marketer. Do you know any other digital marketers? And as that opportunity comes, but also it's created more opportunities. So if a Linda comes in at the junior level and they have the basics and they upskill themselves in 2 years, time flies, 2 years, with the rapid growth of technology, that person can go from being just an intern to being somebody solid and senior and growing. I've really entrenched myself in the tech things, because if you don't incorporate tech in even how you do things as a business, you're going to get left behind.
True. Adapt or die.
Thank you. Absolutely. And so for me, tech is really something that I'm passionate about. And I see these young introverts that are sitting there but are creating mind-blowing solutions. I want to be part of that. That excites me. I want to be part of that. And I don't act like I am technologically advanced. I always laugh and say, I can find you, the tech people. Sometimes on that iPhone, I'm like, what do I press here? But I love being in those environments and finding out what's happening there. So constantly creating platforms for people to do that. Whether it's on my LinkedIn profile, how do I give tips? How do I upskill people there? It's really around the ethos of what our business is about as well. So
yeah. No, thanks, Mahlape. It's been really great chatting to you as you have been taking us through your journey and also how you mind your business. So that's great. As we wrap up, any parting shots of in terms of words of advice for your fellow ladies in entrepreneurship?
South Africa needs you.
Your country needs you.
Your country needs you.
Yeah.
If we are going to fight this employment thing, best place to get people working is with entrepreneurs. The opportunity to get your business growing is to create more jobs. And that's where I come in. You see, now I'm selling. But that is the one place that we're going to grow this economy. We're going to create jobs. Is as entrepreneurs, we've got a responsibility there to bring the next people up with us. So what we do is rough. It's tough. I'm not saying it's always going to be rough and tough. It's also very fulfilling. But there is nothing that beats doing something for yourself and making that difference. So my advice is speak up. I know it's lonely. Ask for help. Upskill yourself constantly. Don't stagnate. Upskill yourself constantly. Research what's happening. Because sometimes you think this is the only way to do it. And in China, they are doing it differently and they are doing it well. So always do the research. Always find out what people are doing out there. Always see how you can differentiate yourself. Always see how you can stand out. But above all, especially the reputation that we have, in a lot of cases, even as Black women, is that I don't want to work with these businesses. If you can get the professionalism, the quality there's nobody who's not going to support professionalism and quality and excellence no matter what. And if we build that ethos that says we're going to break apart that stereotype that says, I don't want to do business with this demographic. I don't give people an option. In fact, I've become snotty with the type of clients. If you're a client, you don't want to meet with me, you don't want to talk to me, you don't want to give me your time, it's okay. That's not what you want, because rubbish in, rubbish out. But if you give me that, I can guarantee that I'm going to give excellence. I'm going to give you the right type of whatever it is that you're looking for, that whatever type of person that is there. I pride myself in showing up fully. So once you do that, the battle is almost there, because your clients are going to give you even more opportunity. If I know Linda delivers, I'm going to say, hey, Linda, do you also do this? It's a trust thing that happens. So, yeah, it's do it. Also bring the passion that you have as well. If you do something because it also resonates with you and it's making a difference, it wakes you up in the morning, even when that cash flow is tough, because you're making a difference.
Yeah, sure. Powerful words. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Mahlape. Powerful session indeed this morning, and also some truth-born bombs. There, I say, as you were talking about some of the realities in terms of how we as entrepreneurs sometimes need to look ourselves in the mirror in terms of the type of service that we are delivering, and also our level of professionalism. Thank you so much, and all the best for the Skills Mine.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you for the amazing work you're doing on this podcast, and having women share what it is they're doing. It's all part of the inspiration. So well done on you, and congratulations on being a powerhouse yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much.